what I personally do, I actually have a Google Docs sheet of everything that I spend and all of my income as well. Because at the end of the month, the last thing anyone should be doing is not knowing where it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, and you might be the same, but I take it to the extreme. I don't like having cash. I never have money. Whenever we go, I'm the person that doesn't have any money because
it's invested.
there's
it's
that. It's that. But it's also, I like the thought of, okay, in my bank, I will give myself like £5. And I will have £5, right, today I can wake up, right, I've only got £5 to spend. So you're constantly thinking, well, I can't buy this, I can't buy... And it forces yourself to save. Yeah. It forces yourself not to spend as much and manage it better. Like, for example, a normal day, I go to work. We have a really good thing at... so I actually work for TUI, the travel company, at their head office in Luton. And we have a big canteen there, and food there is just ridiculously cheap. So I prefer to do it. It might be £1 or £2 for a whole meal. I will know that I've only got that amount of money to spend on that, and it's like, right, I cannot buy anything more for the day. Like, I can't spend money, like coffee, whatever. Make it at home. I'm not.
My $1 breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Little plug here. Anyone that wants to go watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, my average week, I spend about £15 on food. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah, mate, I don't even spend that.
Obviously, pasta, pizza, 66p pizza from Lidl.
Like, is what you said about living with parents, and it's not taking it for granted if you're aware of it, and you can still, I don't know, be responsible yourself. Because with the washing and stuff like that, my mum does it at the moment, but I'm fully prepared to do it, and I know how to do it, because a lot of people surprisingly don't. They don't know how to.
I was one of them. I'd never
chores.
used a washing machine before. Yeah. I've never needed to.
Yeah, exactly. So. But not everybody's obviously mothered in that sense. But yeah, my parents are still on it, and they'll pick me up on it, and I'll have to do chores around the house. And it's not like I'm earning pocket money and stuff. It's just like I'm a fully grown adult still living at home.
Yeah.
And you're right, nobody should have any shame in living at home at the moment, especially now, because it's very hard for people to move out that are our age, as I mentioned before. But like what you said about living cheap and food and stuff, I work at Tesco's. I work in a full supermarket. If I wanted to get a meal deal, it takes me 10 seconds to get it. I never buy meal deals. Never. Loads of people do it on their breaks. That's free. Well, with a club card, £3 a day with a discount, £2.70 a day. If you work a 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and you get a meal deal every day, that's £15 a week on meal deals. That's £60 a month. You times it by 12, you're spending a few £100 a year on meal deals. That's a lot of money if you add it up. My dad makes a big batch of pasta at the start of every week. I'll put it in a pot, bring it in, grab an apple, 2 satsumas or whatever, and then whatever else is free in the colleague staff room will have that. I spent nothing on lunch. And luckily, breakfast and dinner is provided by my family, like in terms of the food that's in the house. I'll contribute towards that with rent, but that rent is a lot less than if I'd be living like you are, if you're living elsewhere. So I'm not going to say how much I pay in rent, but it's in relation to my wages and stuff like that. But it's not £500 a month, which is what you're paying. I know you have to disclose that as well.
Yeah,
how much you're paying in
that's
rent.
My biggest outgoing though, definitely. Because another thing, I don't drive. I have a license. I've driven for 2 years. Had one accident along the way. I wrote my first car off.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
I got all my money back for that, but I lost out obviously on the no claims discount.
Yeah.
But other than that, so I completely stopped driving, and I've saved a fortune with that. I mean, my outgoings, how I budget it. If I were looking at it from my salary, I split it into thirds. So after tax, you're looking at £1,500. £500 of rent, £500 a minimum. I always invest £500 a month as a minimum, and I have done for however long. And then £500 I leave to spend. Well, that's over 100 a week, and I don't spend that. so I end up investing 700-800,
Yeah.
and it makes a difference. That's why I save, and I'm as frugal as I am, so I can invest more to get to the
Long-term financial success, baby.
financial freedom. Yeah,
That's it.
that goal quicker. So, but
That's
yeah,
it.
the thing with living at home though, I think, so for my case, I was able to, and you're the same, throughout COVID, throughout lockdown, we did nothing but work.
Yeah.
We were actually frontline key workers because at the time, because everyone was on furlough. We were never furloughed. It wasn't our full-time job, but it soon became it.
Yeah.
Basically, we were doing our A levels at the time. That ended March 2020, and then it was suddenly what now?
Yeah. Work.
We both had part-time jobs, and then it just sort of became full-time. I applied to uni. I deferred my place because I thought, okay, I'm earning, I want to continue. And then it was the most I'd ever earned, and I was just working in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And because I was living at home, I saved like 90% of my income. I mean, for us, even though it was not a great period of time, lockdown was a blessing in disguise because it allowed us to save so much money and at the same time invest a lot and make some on the bull run, which was 2020, 2021.
Yeah. We got caught in a very fortunate storm at that point, given our position and everything that happened at the time. I mean, obviously, it's awful with the losses of everybody that died and what we all had to go through with lockdown, but everything has a silver lining, and that was the perfect storm because the market crashed to one of the lowest points it's been in like a decade. Everything was at a discount. Like I literally remember how it all started because that's what started the growth of the finance channel. Like I wasn't planning on going into finance when I started YouTube. Obviously I've moved over to travel now, but I watched one of Graham Stephan's videos just pop up on YouTube, and then I just spent every lunch break and time at home just watching Meet Kevin, Andre Jig, just all the finance guys, and watching all the videos, learning about the stock market, and it was like hours of time. It wasn't work, it was just entertainment but learning at the same time. And we got into, like you say, the EV market, got caught on the bull run, which is good, but that was crazy. I literally remember sitting there on PS4 with you and Will, and Will's not, you don't care about being mentioned obviously, and we're sitting there on PS4 looking at our phones. We had Neo, XPeng, Tesla, Li Auto, Electromechanica. God, that's a touchy subject now, but like the market would open and we'd jump up like 400 quid, and overnight you'd make like 1.5 grand. That's one of the trades I think either you or Will made or something, and I'd run downstairs, and at that point in time we couldn't fathom how much we'd just made. Look, I'm not even joking. Like 1.5 grand trade overnight is a monthly paycheck. That is ridiculous, and that's the extent of what we were doing. I'm not even joking. We were putting in thousands, like £5,000, £6,000 trade, and all we were going off pretty much at this time was, electric vehicle bull run. They're jumping 20% every day. Before the market closes, I'll put in 10 grand. It opens the next day at 2:30, and we're rich. And that was it. And then the market turned, and we're in a very rough point at the moment. But it was good while it lasted, and we are making crazy money during a fortunate point in time that we happen to be involved in.
If it weren't for lockdown, if it weren't for having the time that we had, we delved upon it a bit, but we didn't really know much. And if it weren't for that, I mean, a lot of this might have not happened. I mean, I might have not even. It was only because I had the time. I was only working 2 days a week, 12 hours. I was like, right, well, what can we do with this time? Yeah. For a little bit, we were like, okay, we'll go on PS4,
start a Minecraft world, and stay up till 4 a.m, which we actually did continue to do, even by working like 4 or 5 days a week after that. But
it was at the point where we knew, right, how can we take advantage of our situation?
yeah,
And for both of us, it was like, well, how can we make more money?
yeah,
And how can we make it from home? And I think a lot of people are in a similar boat with that. But that's when we came across people on YouTube, started reading books. I mean, I'd never finished a book in my life before I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
I think that's the first book I've ever actually finished.
Yeah.
And that was like a big starting point for both of us. So I highly recommend that if you've not read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.